Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's Dockerty Cup playoff game between Melbourne Knights and Northcote City here at John Cain Memorial Reserve in Melbourne's north. My name's Nick Dabano and I'm joined here today by Athos Sirianos for tonight's game, the winner through to the Dockerty Cup semi-finals. Two sides that have already qualified for the Australia Cup round of 32, but an opportunity for them to potentially compete for some more silverware should they progress tonight.
Hello Nick, and good evening to everyone tuning in on Facebook Live and YouTube on Football Victoria's channel. Big game tonight, two clubs with strong roots in their respective communities, and like you said, they've already qualified, but a good chance for a confidence booster tonight for both teams.
We'll run you through the starting lineups for both teams, starting with the home side, Northcote, in their home blue strips today. Number 1, Brandon Kumanau between the sticks. Number 2, Jacob Lever. Number 4, Maceo Jones. Number 6, Leo Athanasiou. Number 9, James Maguire. Number 10, Ioannis Georgopoulos. Number 11, Ugandi. Number 14, Steve Sokol. Number 22, George Salakidis. Number 23, Sam Ward. And number 24, Yuki Uchida. Well, for Melbourne Knights, a few changes to their team from the weekend. Number 6, Anthony Drizel in midfield alongside number 11, Javaro Nepomuceno. Number 12, Felipe Sanchez in goals. Number 13, Chris Oldfield. Number 16, Mohamed Sumayoro. Number 17, Trevor Semakula. 18, Jack Morton. Number 19, Luka Kolic. 27, Joseph Franjic. 23, Thomas Karlovic. And new signing, Lars Anton Conander leading the line for Melbourne Knights today. Coming across from Werribee City, atop the NPL2 Golden Boot standings, and a astute signing for the Knights, bolstering their attacking half of the pitch going into the last 2 months of the NPL season.
First time since 2018 these two teams have met, Nick. That was back in June, nearly a year to the day, back in NPL 1. The Knights won 4-1 that day, with Nathaniel Bowen scoring the brace for the Knights and Jerry Salados scoring the only goal for Northcote. So we're a few seconds from kicking this one off, and the Dockerty Cup should be a cracker.
Looking forward to this, Athos. Obviously, the winners play Oakley in the next round of the Dockerty Cup. It is Northcote who get us underway, kicking from left to right in their home blue kits. Melbourne Knights in white, going from right to left. Obviously, Melbourne Knights 4th in NPL Victoria this season. Northcote 10th in NPL 2. But a big game nonetheless for two sides looking to get one step closer to competing for one of the most coveted prizes in Victorian football. As Sokol looking to play it through to Maguire, but it's cut out, and here is Conander. His first touches on the ball here. It's turned over. A chance now for Northcote to break. Maguire immediately under pressure there by Thomas Karlovic. And the ball goes out of bounds, and it's out for a goal kick.
How do you think Northcote responds with the amount of outs, well, the notable outs that Melbourne Knights have? Do you reckon that it's buoyed a bit of confidence in them when they saw the starting lineup?
I mean, there's every chance. I mean, despite Knights having a lot of key players missing, we'll run you through some of those players who are either on the bench or not on the team sheet today. They would give themselves every chance to potentially get an upset today. Both sides not in the best of form in the league at the moment. But we'll see what they can do, obviously, at their home ground as well, as Conander getting up the line on that left-hand side. Looking to feed it back. Here is Morton. 1-2 there with Drizel and playing it around the back. Melbourne Knights coming off a 3-2 defeat on Saturday against Altona Magic, while Northcote a 0-0 draw against Bulleen last Friday. Northcote 4 games without a win. Melbourne Knights have lost their last 2 games, still sitting in a comfortable position inside the top 6, Athos, but an opportunity for them to get some form back tonight as going to break down that right-hand side, but it's well marshalled there by Lever, and a risky pass back to Kumanau, and Northcote looking to play out from the back.
A good chance for some of the Knights players who are on the fringe to maybe show what they're made of and maybe crack a starting spot with the games coming thick and fast now.
Absolutely. 7 games remaining in the league. It'll be an extra game if they get through today in the Dockerty Cup, but all eyes will be on tomorrow night as well, where both teams will find out their fate in the national stages of the Australia Cup. Exciting times for both teams, returning to the national stages. Melbourne Knights first time since 2019, a defeat against Adelaide United. Northcote first time since 2018, a defeat against Devonport Strikers. Here's Semakula. Can he get forward down that right side? Fitted him board, but let play continue for just a sec, but it comes back and it's going to be a free kick there to the home side.
I tell you what, if you're a Northcote fan, you'd be hoping it doesn't quite go to penalties like their last cup game against Clifton Hill, the local rivals.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a tight game against the State League 2 opposition. They were pushed and they had to do it the hard way against a lot of familiar faces, a lot of former players playing that day, a lot of former Northcote players playing for Clifton Hill, the likes of Harry Noon, who was lining up for Hercules last season. As the ball comes out to that left-hand side and Northcote looking to make their way forward. Gandhi in possession. One of the players to really keep an eye on tonight, and that's a lovely ball out to Steve Sokol. He's got Salakidis in support, but looks to go centrally, and it looks like it's going to be a throw in there to Melbourne Knights, despite the protests there of Uchida.
I know we're only 5 minutes in, Nick, but anyone fearing that Northcote would park the bus tonight, I think those fears have been quashed. They've looked pretty progressive to start the game. A lot
Absolutely.
Of forward runs.
Well, it's good to see. I mean, you want to see Northcote, opportunity, leave it all on the line today against side one division above. And here's Giselle feeding it out to that right-hand side, and it's Sumayoro's in some brilliant form at the moment. Plays it ahead of Nepomuceno. Good skill there from Javara Nepomuceno. Whips it in, looking for Cananda. But it's cleared away. Not entirely. Nepomuceno again. Feeds it short. Ball is whipped into the area, but it eludes everyone. That ball goes out for a throw-in. But Athos, that's one man to keep an eye on. Javaro Nepomuceno. Recently on international duty with Curacao. Actually played over in England recently as well. A very well-tenured player. Be one of the top players in NPL Victoria this season.
So he'll be used to the weather.
Here's Sokol looking to get forward, and he's looking to play the ball through. Getting back is Semakula. And made an important intervention because Yuki Uchida was breaking forward in behind. Danger signs here for the Melbourne Knights defence. Knights defence without the likes of Corey Sewell, Ivan Franjic. Two of their mainstays in the defensive half, and Northcote potentially smelling some blood. Nepomuceno under immediate pressure there from Athanasiou, the captain. Stays alive. Northcote looking to work their way out from the back. It's through Ward. They're being hemmed even further back here by the Melbourne Knights press. Boys sent up the line looking for James Maguire, but Karlovic gets across. Sokol, but the flag's gone up. And it's coming back for that play before. Didn't get through to the Northcote players, but the assistant referee bringing it back.
Healthy crowd building here in Northcote.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful crowd here tonight, Athos. It's a cold night, but no rain inside at the moment. Here on this Melbourne Winters Tuesday night. Of course, the other semi-final up in Shepparton between Goulburn Valley Suns and Heidelberg United. And we'll come back to that in just a sec, as Northcote have won themselves a corner.
Goal kick.
Actually, no, it's coming back for, it looks like it was, going to be a goal kick in the end. But it looked like that they were preparing for a corner there. At least Steve Sokol and Jack Morton thought so, but nice with a minor reprieve. But Athos, it's quite exciting in this competition. I mean, as we said, Goulburn Valley playing Heidelberg in the other semi-final over in Shepparton. A great opportunity for an NPL 3 side to go all the way. And, of course, they will play the winner of either one of these two sides or Oakley in the Dockerty Cup final.
Well, we saw Shepparton turn it on. They hosted a great international tournament. Was it late last year?
Late last year that we saw Nestori Urankunda shine for the Joeys.
And great to see the local press really get around it as well. They had some great spreads in the Shepparton News over there.
Absolutely. Well, it served as a qualifying tournament for the Asian Cup that the Joeys were bundled out of yesterday in the quarterfinals against Japan.
We were talking before the game as well about how amazing the pitch here is looking. Despite all the rain we've had, this time of year it can get quite hairy for pitches across Victoria. But it's pulled up a treat here in Northcote, and you never know, they might get drawn against an A-League side this time tomorrow. Yes,
absolutely. And we know the last time Northcote were in the national stages, Athos, their last home game was actually moved to the Venetor Club due to venue regulations. So we'll see if that's going to be the same this year. Should they draw? Should they be drawn as the home side tomorrow night? But the pitch is certainly looking a picture, and kudos to the ground staff here in Melbourne's North. Franjic, and this is Joseph Franjic just looking to reset and get play moving. See, good setup behind the ball here from the home side, not allowing Knights to play through with the same pleasure. Here's Sanchez. Strong challenge there from Maguire, but he won the ball. Referee plays play on.
I think he's played advantage.
Sumayoro. Here's a chance now for Knights looking to break out that right-hand side. Nepomuceno in some space. Drives into the area. Shots blocked. Will fall here to Felipe Sanchez. Looking to play the 1-2 with Canander, and it's cleared away. Sokol on the pressure there from Morton. Ball goes out for a throw-in, but liking the look of that Knights front three early, Athos.
It's been a cagey start. No shots on target just yet, but it's been quite entertaining. We've seen some great bits of play. There's plenty of space along the wings, along the flanks, and I think that the playmakers on both sides have certainly come out to play and show what they're capable of tonight.
As you mentioned, Athos, just having a look over my shoulder here, was people still filing through here at John Kay Memorial Reserve. A really solid turnout here behind us, at least in the grandstand. It's a good buzz here tonight. Athanasiou going all the way back to Ward. And Northcote looking to work their way out from the back. This is a Northcote team that has chopped and changed systems this year. They played a bit of a back three for a time this year under Zelko Cushman, but opting to go back for a more traditional back four as they turn the ball over. Canander.
Good turn.
Just couldn't get past Lever, and the ball's put out for a throw. In fact, it's actually going to work in the favour of Northcote. Took a deflection on the way through. As mentioned, Northcote, no wins in their last 4 games. A 0-0 draw with Bulleen, a 3-1 loss against Werribee and Kingston, and a 2-1 defeat against Brunswick Juventus. Their last win, a 2-1 win against Lang Warren, just drawing them ever closer to the drop zone, which is full of some familiar faces, really, in NPL circles. Some big clubs, the likes of Brunswick Juventus, Bulleen and Pascoe Vale, the bottom 3 in NPL 2 at the moment. And if you had that on your bingo card at the start of the season, people would have told you were crazy. But nonetheless, they are the 3 sides that are contesting relegation, and Northcote hoping to avoid that when they do return to league action this weekend. Ball is fed through. Felipe Sanchez in behind, but he's offside. Kumanau made a good save anyway. But it was,
that linesman was red hot. Very astute.
Well, it was fed through brilliantly from Luka Kolic, who is another one of the great young talents here in NPL Victoria. Karlovic looking to break forward from the back. Knights have done well to lock it in their attacking half. Sumayoro forced to retreat. Here's Semakula. Nepomuceno trying some skill, and he wins the throw. A good opportunity, as you mentioned, Athos, for some players to earn their spot in the team. Felipe Sanchez, one of them, who's been very bright early. He hasn't started a lot of games this season, but a chance to impress Ben Khan.
Well, it could be what Knights need. They only have the 2 wins in their last 5. Their last victory came against Yarraville in the FFA Cup. They're actually a goal down in that game, and a bit of individual brilliance from Mitch Hoare and Kieran Bramwell. 3 goals in the last 15 minutes, so they can score goals quickly. But they would like a few more notches in the wins column, that's for sure. And tonight's a good chance to get another victory and boost a bit of confidence in the team.
Well, at the moment, they're kind of in an island in the top 6 of NPL Victoria, given how well the top 3 are performing in Avondale, South Melbourne and Oakley. We'll leave that for just a sec, because the Cheetah's looking to break forward. Giselle does well to get back, and that rolls all the way through to Chris Oldfield. But they're kind of in a position where they're in a bit of no man's land. They're comfortable almost in 4th head of Port Melbourne, but they are not there just yet, and they've got a good sort of position inside the top 6 as well. As we know, Melbourne Knights have never played in the finals in NPL Victoria since the NPL became a thing in 2014. So it's been a long time coming for them, as Semakula looking to feed it through. Anthony Giselle turned over. Athanasiou does well to come across and sets a real task there for a Cheetah, but that ball rolls out for a throw. But for a club like Knights, Athos, big chance for them to finally play in finals, an opportunity for them on the national stages as well. of the Australia Cup, and as well, a win today puts them one step closer to being in the Dockerty Cup final. It could be a very successful season for the Knights after a lot of down years in the league.
And with 2 months to go, this is almost the perfect time to start a run heading into finals. You don't want to peak too early, but with 7-8 games to go, plus a few cup games, you could get something going and start something pretty special.
Well, we saw what Oakley did last year. They timed their run to perfection and won the championship from third. Poor touch in the middle there, and it's turned over, and here is Gandhi. One of the young products of this Northcote side who took his opportunity in the senior team last year and really hasn't looked back. Northcote without Joshua Knight in their starting 11 and Nick Sete, two of their primary attacking options, as well as Zach Bates on the bench too. So a lot of firepower on the bench for Zelko Kuzman. They did lose Dennis Menelau, their top goal scorer last year. He's made the move to Bulleen, debuted against his former team last Friday. Ball is turned over. Cananda looking to flick it over the top, calls for a handball.
Bit ambitious, that appeal.
Giselle turns, feeds it inboard. And it's turned over again. Northcote looking to break. Georgopoulos fed out to this right side to George Salakidis. In a lot of space here. Centrally to Georgopoulos, but good pressure there from Sanchez, putting him under immediate duress, and he's forced to retreat all the way back to Ward. Semakula turns it over. Lovely touch there from Gandhi. Cuts inside, has players alongside him in Georgopoulos. Salakidis is there, and he's in an acre of space here on this right-hand side. Players lining up in the middle. Salakidis whips it in. Nodded clear. Lars Anton Cananda getting across. Lars Anton Cananda have been reminded of the full name of their Swedish signing coming across from Werribee this season. 12 goals to start the season in NPL 2. A lot of them from the spot, but he knows where the goals are. End of the day, goals are goals. I'm sure Werribee weren't complaining. He was hitting the scoreboard in that solid start to the season for them. Morton looking to feed it over the top, and that's going to roll all the way through. And Lever's happy to retreat to his goalkeeper.
11 Dockerty Cups between the two sides, Nick, albeit that's 10 for the Knights, 1 for Northcote. Northcote's last piece of silverware in this competition was when it was called the Mirabella Cup back in 2011 and beat the Knights, funnily enough, at Amy Park 2-0.
Fun bit of trivia there for the evening. Didn't know that stat actually there, Athos. Thank you for that. I mean, Northcote once VPL premiers a while ago as well. They were as recent as 2018 in the top tier of NPL Victoria. Looking to eventually get themselves back to that position inside the top flight in Victorian football. Hasn't really gone to plan this season, but still a very ambitious club. Cananda feeds it centrally. And pass there from College trying to play. It's Nepomuceno, but it's turned over. College wins it back. Here's Nepomuceno. Plays it into the box. Cananda's waiting for it. And it's just past the post. It was dinked in brilliantly. And Lars Anton Cananda all by himself inside the area. And he just put it wide.
Nick. Best chance of the game, and I think Anton would be maybe kicking himself there a bit. I don't think he realised how much time and space he had to direct that header on target, but nonetheless he has looked dangerous, the big man up front, wearing the 47.
Yeah, 47. Well, the number 9 is taken, Athos. Kieran Bramwell, who came across from Perth Glory at the start of the season, not available today. So an opportunity as well for Cananda to stake his claim, potentially. Bramwell been in and out of goal-scoring form this season. Took a while for him to open up his account in the league this year, but been quite prominent in their run in the Australia Cup. Of course, before they beat Yarraville, a 6-1 win against Corio, 5-0 against Box Hill, 2-0 against Bentley as well. And Bramwell scored 2 goals. I scored 3 en route there. Goals against Yarraville and 2 against Corio as Uchida getting forward down that left-hand side, and the ball's put out there for a throw.
Knights have had the last 15-20 minutes. They're starting to look really comfortable now as the games wore on. Still very early in this game, of course. We're only 19 minutes in, but the Knights do have the upper hand so far and have had the best of the chances, albeit there's only been about one really good chance so far.
Well, Lars Conander probably coming the closest. It's left unmarked inside the area in case you missed it at home and just put it wide. Knights looking to break here through Morton. Again, well set up behind the ball here, the home side, not allowing Knights to break through. We know the sort of football that Bencard's side likes to play, very progressive, looking to get on the front foot, possession-based, and looking to get forward. Oldfield switching out to that left. And here is Sumayoro, who was switched that left-hand side after starting in the midfield three. Looks like Sanchez has tucked in the meantime to join Giselle and College in there. Again, they're looking to get Nepomuceno involved. It's in some space here, looking to go up Maceo Jones, but well defended there by the former Bentley Greens defender. Jones looking to break, but it's turned over. Semakula breaking through the heart of the Northcote midfield, but big collision there from Conander and Athanasiou. No foul given. Play on's the call. Another familiar name on the bench for Melbourne Knights today. A chance for a debut for former Western United defender Ben Collins, another former Northcote defender as well. Second of their imports in the mid-season window. Ben Collins, obviously part of the squad that Western United squad was actually on the bench when they won the grand final, the A-League Men grand final in 2022. Was very close to coming on that game when Josh Risdon got hurt early in the contest, but John Aloisi didn't need to call upon him in the end, but
great pass.
High wraps on him, and here you go, Knights up the other way. Sumayoro. Sanchez, very fluid sort of positioning on that left-hand side. Sanchez looking to cut inside. Good feet there from Felipe Sanchez. Gets a shot away, but right at Kumanao in the end. Really liking the look of Sanchez early, Athos.
Well, it opened up for him, didn't it then? You guys watching at home would have had a great view. I'm sure he was aiming for the top corner, but it didn't quite come off. Those are the ones you dream of in the park. When it opens up, you knock it out on your right and you have a ping from distance.
Here's Gandhi. Battle of the 11s alongside Nepomuceno. Well played from Nepomuceno getting back, and a foul's awarded. Felipe Sanchez, Athos, last year was at Pascoe Vale, was a big part of their push for promotion that just fell short. A real dynamic player in NPL2, getting his opportunity again in the top flight, and that's a poor pass from Chris Oldfield. It's turned over. Georgopoulos does well. Here's Gandhi. It's well defended. The Knights do well to repel the Northcote attack. Looking to break. Giselle forced to retreat. So still 0-0 here in this Dockerty Cup playoff game between Northcote City and Melbourne Knights. Of course, the winner plays Oakley Cannons in the semi-final. Last year's runners-up, losing against Bentley Greens in the final last year at Lakeside Stadium. Athanasiou nods it forward. Well played up the line there for Sokol in some space here on the edge of the area. Steve Sokol.
Great tackle.
Beautiful challenge in the end there by Franjic. It was Joseph Franjic. And here is Sanchez looking to get forward. Morton. Back to Sanchez. Good feet there from the Knights winger. Conander looking to feed it back to Sanchez, but Salakidis does well and puts the ball out there for a throw-in.
The Knights wingers are starting to cause some problems.
They are, and
not quite getting the reward for effort, but they're pushing.
Really liking that little bit of interplay that Sanchez and Sumayoro have got on that left-hand side. Sumayoro started on that right-hand side, sort of linking up with Nepomuceno, but he shifted over to this left-hand side, and you see sort of the interplay between the two. So far, so good. big task for George Salakidis and co on that right side to kind of curtail their influence. A lot of that play's been focused down the left-hand side for Knights, whether it's deliberate or, you know, something that maybe Northcote trying to keep the ball away from Javara Nepomuceno, who, when it's all said and done this season, Athos, he's going to be right up there in the gold medal standings. Sanchez looks to ride the challenge. Georgopoulos does well. It's turned over. Morton feeds it to Lars Conander. Comes back to Sanchez. Giselle in some space. Here is Nepomuceno. Ball bobbed a little bit on the surface. Semakula just fizzes it across the face, but Kumanal meets it at the near post. Well played there from the Northcote keeper.
He's quite quick off the mark, isn't he, Conander?
Yeah.
Not only is he great in the air, and he's bloody huge, isn't he? He'd be pushing, what, 6'3", 6'4", but he's quick off the mark and quick with his feet as well. So just about the full package.
He's causing problems early, and Georgopoulos looking to feed it through to Maguire. It's overhit, and it rolls through to Chris Oldfield, but very promising early showing here from Lars Anton Conander. A big focus in this mid-season window was to bolster their attack, Melbourne Knights, and Conander was the option they went for in the end. Have seen some strikers move around in NPL Victoria so far in this mid-season window. Sanchez in some space, isolated with Salakidis there, cuts inside, short to College. College feeds it to Giselle. He can wind up, but he opts for the safe option instead. There were calls from one person in the crowd to shoot.
I think his teammates are expecting him to shoot as well.
Just never looked comfortable there on the edge of the area, Anthony Giselle. Sumayoro, defended by two Northcote defenders there. Nepomuceno wins a throw. And that play results in a goal kick there for Northcote. So far, so good here from the home side. Athos holding their own against the fourth place side in NPL Victoria. Not too overawed by the challenge of coming up against one of the top sides in the state.
Well, it's a good test for them, right? They've got an FFA Cup, well, Australia Cup, a round of 32 game to prepare for, and they might be coming up against a fellow NPL 1 team or an A-League side, so a good chance to test themselves against a team quite a few places above them in the rankings.
Here's Sanchez looking to get forward. Strong challenge by Georgopoulos, but Sanchez almost still came up with it, but Athanasio looking to launch the counter back the other way. Sokol in some space.
Good ball.
Feeds Uchida. He's onside by the looks of it, and feeds it back to Salakidis. That's a good ball into the area, but it's cleared away by Giselle. Conander collides with Athanasio. Did well there, Conander.
Nice work.
And they'll be coming back for a free kick against Athanasio.
Gee, they defend so well, don't they, the Knights? They're very tight. They're going to be a tough nut to crack tonight if you're Northcote.
Absolutely. Obviously, Knights haven't kept a clean sheet in their last two games. Said they've one win in their last five in the league, two in their last five in all competitions.
Though they do travel well.
They do.
They've unbeaten in 5 of their last 6 away games, so they don't mind getting on the team bus and coming to this side of Melbourne.
Absolutely. Their last road trip, though, wasn't a happy one. A 3-2 defeat against Altona Magic. Side looking to make a push for a top 6 berth this year. Here's Nepomuceno. Feeds it centrally. Giselle. Sumayoro. And ball goes out there for a throw. Mohamed Sumayoro in some really good form as of late, Athos. He's Been firing in the goals in both the league and in their cup run as well. Giselle. Well defended there, and Uchida looking to force the counter-attack back the other way. Has Maguire alongside him. He feeds it to him. Looking across, but it's well scouted by Joseph Franjic. And comes off Maguire last, and the ball goes out for a goal kick. James Maguire looking to make his presence known. Top of attack here for Northcote. Been a bit quiet so far.
Well, they're persisting with the two up top, aren't they?
Yep. They're going with, looks like some sort of 4-4-2 sort of alteration between him and Yuki Uchida at the front of attack. But you do expect, as this game wears on, the likes of Josh Knight, Nick Sete, and Zach Bates will all be called upon at some point. Especially Josh Knight, who is a well-tenured striker in NPL Victoria and scored plenty of goals along the journey. As Oldfield under a bit of pressure there, and it's turned over. Maguire flicks it on. Gandhi waits for it. Ball sits up, and Knights are forced to concede the corner, so good pressure there from Northcote.
Well, a bit of taste of their own medicine there for the Melbourne Knights. They've been the team applying a considerable amount of pressure in today's game, and Northcote just starting to show a bit there as well. So a good result for Northcote. Get a corner, put it on a few heads there, test their aerial ability.
Yep, absolutely. Well, both Sam Ward and Jacob Lever coming up from the back. It's floated in. Oldfield gets a fist to it. Helped on its way. Gandhi under immediate pressure, and it's Sanchez who comes up with it. It's 3-on-1 here. He's going to have to wait for some support.
Canander's bursting down.
Instead, he goes the safe option. He had Canander on that near side. And then, of course, Semakula and Sumayoro also bombing up alongside him. But instead, that quick counter goes to no avail for now, because Knights have just been forced to retreat for a moment. Karlovic stepping up, but again, that low block from Northcote not allowing them to play through the middle. College, good first time ball, and Semakula gets across. Giselle. Sanchez instead comes through to Sumayoro. Has the short option. Goes to Morton. Floats it in towards the back post, but it's cleared away. Semakula to play it short, but it's turned over. Looking to break back the other way is Jones, and he feeds a good ball for Maguire, but out comes Oldfield. I'm really liking the look of Maceo Jones, signed from Bentley Greens, and he's looked really good at left back so far.
Well, he split the two defenders, but there was just a bit too much on it. So next time, you never know. Maguire could just run onto that, and it may just well be 1-0 to Northcote.
Oldfield goes long. Cananda gets ahead to it. Lever's there to help it on its way to Gandhi. Essentially to Georgopoulos. Salakidis gets there. Good pressure by Sumayoro, and a foul's awarded there to Salakidis. Former Heidelberg player George Salakidis. So spent some time in Greece as a youngster, Athos. Very, very talented fullback. Here's Sokol. Looking to cut inside. Steve Sokol looking to go himself. He get the shot away. Good save by Oldfield. He got low down to his left. And Steve Sokol so close to opening the scoring. And
just lost his balance there at the end. Easier to say from up here.
Yep,
but he
absolutely.
Maybe could have swung it onto his left and aimed for that far post. But a great chance nonetheless for Northcote.
Amazed how much.
Quick thinking.
Amazed how much space he had, and he wins the free kick on the edge of the area. Just amazed that when he got through into the area there, Athos, he had so much time. The Knights defence standing in, were in 6s and 7s in that moment, and Sokol had all the time in the world to test Chris Oldfield.
It was his own feet that let him down in the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think he'll be making that mistake again. So the Knights got away with one there, and Northcote with a great chance to perhaps open the scoring.
Well, it is a cheater who's standing over it. The tall timber's up from the back. Let's see what Northcote can do from here. Cheetah floats it in. It's not cleared. Back into the area, but hoofed away in the end. Athanasiou is there. And Northcote will look to reset. This is a good patch here from the home side. Uchida cuts inside. Whips it in, and it's just eluded. I think it was Ward who stayed up from the back. Had him and Maguire in the middle. And Sam Ward, who has scored 5 goals in the league this season. Don't let his centre-back status fool you. He knows where the goals are. And Knights under immediate pressure here as they look to play out. Sanchez, Morton, and ball out for a throw-in. But Sam Ward there, just waiting. And it was a lovely ball into the area, but just wide on that occasion.
Well, we found Uchida's left foot, and it was beautiful.
Really liking the look of Uchida in the early look going in this contest. Him and Steve Sokol particularly looking very dangerous in that Northcote attack. Warning signs for Melbourne Knights after that sustained bit of pressure there from Northcote. Of course, on Melbourne Knights bench today, the likes of Josh Phelps, John Albano, Steve White, Jacob Wiseman and Ben Collins. John Albano, someone you'd think they will turn to if they do need a goal. And of course, Steve White, someone they might be able to add a little bit of something in the midfield. There's a free kick's awarded there to Northcote. It's in a dangerous position. And again, the call coming for both Lever and Ward to come up from the back. And even Jones as well. And is Uchida again standing over it. We saw before how dangerous he can be with his crossing, and that's a lovely ball into the area and it finds its way through! But the flag is up. Or is it? No, no goal. It was...
Now, the Knights could be on here.
Well, it was Sokol who had the ball in the back of the net, and Knights are looking to push back the other way. They've taken the free kick quickly. Northcote have done well to repel. They've just sort of created a bit of a cage almost in the middle of the park there with about 8 players just sort of standing around the middle there and didn't allow Sanchez to get forward.
I'd love to see a replay of that. The linesman from where we were sitting looked quite unsure. He almost half put his flag up, but he committed to it in the end. Yep. And then Northcote were nearly caught napping, celebrating a non-goal.
Well, I'd like to see this again. Obviously, our angle isn't in line with the assistant referee, but as it looks like Anthony Giselle goes to ground and might require some treatment. We'll have a look at this replay. Ball was whipped in. It sort of pinballed around, and Sokol was there. I mean, it's hard to tell. But very unlucky there, and Northcote could have had the opener.
Good chance to rewind and watch the replay.
Yep, go back on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're watching, and have a look yourself and make your own judgments. And Anthony Giselle just... slowly looking to make his way off the field. And looking at it again, I think when you really slow it down, it probably wasn't offside. And a good decision there from the assistant referee. It's inches. But nonetheless, Northcote have put that Knights defence under immediate pressure and sounded a massive, massive warning sign. Something that Ben Cain will need to address at half-time is that lapse there. This has been a very good spell from Northcote. Georgopoulos playing it all the way back. Lever. Another player missing for Northcote today. Of course, he's Kevin Lynch, another one of their key defenders this season. But Jacob Lever and Sam Ward holding down the fort very well in his absence. Maceo Jones as well at left back. And here is Sokol. looking to break. Has players in the middle. Looking to go himself. Gets past Karlovic. Great play from Sokol, but the final ball was lacking. And it's out for a goal kick. It was so promising. But just, it seems like he got the ball stuck under his feet and was caught in two minds whether to shoot or cross. In the end, the ball just P-rolls out in the end for a goal kick.
It's been the wingers from both sides that have really dominated, and it's been a great showcase from the wide plays in the first half so far.
Well, that was, again, lovely bit of skill from Sokol to get down that right-hand side, but just at the key moment there, Athos, it just seems like he froze.
Well, how much space are the Knights going to give him, really?
Well, he's on the ball again here, and he's got Salakidis burning. Opts to go centrally to Uchida. He's in some space here. His shot's blocked. And again, the Knights players affording these Northcote players a lot of space, and at the moment, it's working quite well for Northcote.
Well, that could have been through over on the left wing over there. Uchida burnt his teammate there, wanted to take the shot himself, and you can't blame him considering what he's done so far. But confidence is streaming out of Northcote at the moment.
So far, so good for Hercules, and they'd be very pleased as we close in on half-time. 0-0 still the score. It's been a good patch from Northcote, but that's a lovely touch from Sumayoro. Going to make something happen, but getting back is... It was Athanasiou who did the bit of extra grunt work to put the ball out for a throw-in. Just looking behind the goals there, Athos, looks like a bit of a Northcote cheer squad there behind the goals, looking to put the Knights attackers off a little bit. As now they look to break again the home side. Uchida feeds it out to that right-hand side. Georgopoulos, heavy collision. And it's going to be coming back, a high boot against Georgopoulos there on Morton. So a free kick awarded to the visitors. Athos, if you're Zelko Kuzman, what's the message after this? I mean, it's been very positive from Northcote, but what are you saying to the players potentially as you be going towards half-time?
Well, they've been incredibly brave. They've persisted with their 4-4-2. They haven't gone into their shell, and you'd be telling them to just keep going. What have they got to lose today? They're playing against a quality opposition in the Knights. They've got a few big games coming up in the league and in the Australia Cup round of 32, so just keep at it.
I'll ask you for Ben Kahn's thoughts in just a sec, but the Knights looking to make something happen, but again, to no avail. Athanasiou just again forced to retreat. But yeah, what would you be saying if you're Ben Kahn? I mean, it was a very positive start from Melbourne Knights, but the last 10 or so minutes, it's been all Northcote. We'll leave it for just a sec, as they're looking to break here again. Hercules, it's Jones who goes to ground, calls for a foul. We're giving Cananda strong challenge there. And a foul's awarded, much to the chagrin of the Northcote fans. It looked like just a strong 50-50 there between Cananda and Ward.
Well, the ref had plenty of time to think about it. I don't know if he was just waiting for dramatic effect, but he took his time to blow that, to the frustration of the Northcote bench and supporters.
But yeah, Athos, if you are Ben Kahn, what's the word here to the Knights side?
Well, you know Northcote are going to come out hard, so if you're Melbourne Knights, you'd want to keep cool heads, perhaps tighten up in the fullback positions, because the Northcote have really exposed those areas in the first half.
They've looked very good when they've been able to break down those flanks, and here is Sumayoro, does well, plays it out wide for Sanchez. Touch over hit, but Sanchez does well to make up for it, and it's well defended by George Salakidis, who clears it away. He will stay inside the Knights attacking half, though. Anthony Giselle getting across. Ball played in first time towards College. Ball rolls out there for a throw-in. 2 minutes or so, plus added time remaining in the first half. Still 0-0 here at John Cain Memorial Reserve. What could Northcote conjure up here, though? Georgopoulos, but Sumayoro got a foot in, and it's turned over. Semakula looking to get forward. Epimaseno, lovely skill. Semakula continues his run down the right-hand side. Gets on the inside of Jones, and a big challenge there. No foul given. It was all clean in the end. And Northcote now looking to break back the other way through Yug Gandhi. Keeps going, Gandhi, down the left-hand side. It's well defended by Knights, and it's starting to open up a bit here in the last couple minutes here in the first half.
Well, we've lauded the attacking prowess of both teams, particularly the wingers, but I tell you what, we've seen some fantastic tackles.
Absolutely.
From both sides.
Well, it looks like there is still a Knights player down. It was a strong challenge. It was Semakula who went to ground. It was just a strong 50-50 coming together there between him and, I think it was Ward. It's a little bit worse for where their Trevor Semakula is filling in at right back today. As we mentioned, no Corey Sewell, no Mitch Hoare, no Ivan Franjic, no Kieran Bramwell in this Melbourne Knights side. 4 of their key contributors all missing today. Semakula requiring a bit of treatment, so it gives us a chance to just take our breath for a sec before we come in towards half-time. Athos, I guess some of your early observations coming out of this one.
Well, it's been a half of 2 halves, really. We saw the Knights start like a house on fire, and they very nearly had the opening goal. Their big Swedish forward coming inches away from opening the scoring. But since about the 25th minute, it's been all Northcote. They had the ball in the back of the net, unfortunately for them, ruled offside by the slightest of margins. And I think 0-0's probably the fair result. Both teams have had their chances. There haven't been too many shots on target, but regardless, it's been an incredible showcase of talent here at John Cain Park.
Semakula just looks like he's waiting to re-enter the pitch. Hopefully all good to continue as Knights, for the time being, play with 10. Still looking quite ginger on that far side.
Well, it was a firm challenge, and I think he landed awkwardly. I don't think it was an issue of whether the ball was taken right. I think it was the landing that did the most damage.
Ooh, high foot there, and it looks like that will be a yellow card awarded to Anthony Giselle. Maguire going to ground there after that challenge. Just keeping an eye on Semakula, who is slowly making his way towards the halfway mark. And now Maguire on the deck. So another player requiring treatment in the final minutes of this first half. Might get a bit of stoppage time here.
I think just blow it there, I think.
Yeah.
Both teams would be happy with heading into the break.
Well, I think Northcote would want this free kick at least have maybe one more chance. So it does look like Semakula is going to re-enter the pitch. So good to see he's good to continue. And also James Maguire as well is all good and ready to continue as well for Northcote. So we'll see what the 4th official signals for and see how much added time we do get for this first half. And there's another player down. And it is Semakula again. And I think that Melbourne Knights' hand has been forced and his evening is going to come to a premature end. So we get ready to see the substitution here. A disappointing end for him. And coming onto the field will be Ben Collins for his Melbourne Knights debut. Playing against his former side, former junior side in Northcote City, who he played for their senior team before signing for Western United in the A-League Men's. Was there for just over 2 and a bit seasons. And
he's gone straight to Maguire. A quite appropriate matchup given the size of those two boys.
Well, they'd call him the barrel for a reason. Ball put over the top. Collins gets ahead to it. Maguire brings it down. Collins couldn't clear it entirely. Sanchez and Sokol lock up, but Sokol does very well, and he goes to ground on the edge of the area. And it's in a very dangerous position. Felipe Sanchez lucky that wasn't a few centimetres more further forward. Otherwise, that would have been a pen.
Well, he's very close to drawing one, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's the second time he's been fouled around there.
He has been very good today, Steve Sokol. So, Northcote will get one last chance to open the scoring before half-time, you'd think. And it is going to be Sam Ward coming up from the back to take this free kick. Now, we know he's a goal scorer, so we'll see what he can do. He's confident. He's the only one standing over it. Just keeping an eye on Salakidis, who is off to the right. We saw a set play in the NPLW yesterday with Alani Yanchevsky that worked to a plumb like this. But I think that Sam Ward...
He's lining up for a shot, I think.
Has his eyes on only one thing. He hits it right into the head of Sumayoro. He's going to get it back on the follow-up, puts it back into the area. Nepomuceno heads it away. Mohamed Sumayoro putting his body on the line there to deny that shooting opportunity for Sam Ward. And the ball goes out for a throw in there to Melbourne Knights. And that's the end of the first half here at John Cain Memorial Reserve. The score here, 0-0 between Northcote City and Melbourne Knights. Both teams having chances to open the scoring. Lars Anton Cananda come in the closest for the visitors early in the contest. Northcote had the ball in the back of the net through Steve Sokol, but the assistant referee's flag denied an opener for Northcote, meaning that the scores here are 0-0 at the break. Athos, your quick observations before we take a breather.
A great taste of a big second half to come here on a Tuesday night. So don't go anywhere. We've got a great period of football to come.
Well, the score here in this Dockerty Cup playoff is Northcote City 0, Melbourne Knights 0. We'll be back in around 15 minutes' time here on Football Victoria's Facebook and YouTube pages. Welcome back to John Cain Memorial Reserve here in Melbourne's North for this Dockerty Cup playoff game between Northcote City and Melbourne Knights. The score here is 0-0 as we get ready to start the second half. A place in the final four of the Dockerty Cup on the line. The winner playing Oakley Cannons in the next round. Northcote were forced into one change just before half-time with Ben Collins coming on for Trevor Semikula, making his Melbourne Knights debut. And also it looks like there's been a second change for Melbourne Knights in defence. Just getting confirmation. It does look like Joshua Phelps has come on. And I do believe it could be for Joseph Franjic. Nick Tabano and Athos Sirianos here to take you through the second half as it's turned over. Gandhi, and a good challenge there from Phelps. Comes in to win the ball back. And a nervous moment there for Melbourne Knights as I welcome Athos back into the call. Athos, she will leave that for just a sec. No, we'll bring it back for the free kick for Athos. Big second half here.
Well, it took a while to get going in the first half, and we've hardly had the chance to take a breath in the second half, Nick. Very entertaining game so far. Now, Nico, tell the viewers at home what we learned at half-time about Melbourne Knights' brand new striker.
Well, we don't know if this is confirmed.
Or
maybe
deliberate.
It is. Well, maybe deliberate or not, but Lars Anton Conander, who goes by Anton Conander, wearing the number 47. We had some questions as to why he wears the 47. I do believe that it could be, now this is a theory, we don't have confirmation, maybe we have to ask Anton ourselves, but it could be the initials AK-47, very similar to Abdullah Kamara, who used to play for Fulham back in the day. That's the reason why he used to pick the number 47. So maybe another striker, but on the opposite end of the world, picking the same tactics as the ball comes into the area. Northcote putting the Melbourne Knights defence under some early pressure. Sumayoro dispossessed, Sokol putting in a blinder against his former side. Just wasn't able to round the challenge. Had the ball in the net, but was denied by the offside flag. I think there's actually been another change for Melbourne Knights as well. I think it is Steve White that is also on the field for Anthony Giselle. So 3 changes already here. Well played by Sumayoro. Whips it in. Eludes Sanchez and Conander. And what a moment there for Melbourne Knights. Conander was waiting for it, but just rolled past everyone in the end. So yeah, it looks like as well Steve White on for Anthony Giselle. So 3 changes now made by Melbourne Knights. Do wonder if Anthony Giselle succumbed to that injury. He was a little bit proppy late in that first half, and he did play on, but just wonder if maybe Ben Cain opting for more of a conservative approach, given Knights do play Avondale on Friday night at Knight Stadium. Athos doesn't get much bigger than that.
No, and considering the rivalry those two have had for the last 5-6 years, you can expect fireworks on Friday night.
Absolutely. Avondale last week breaking the record for the single amount of goals scored in an NPL Victoria season. That's, of course, in the NPL era from 2014 onwards. And now they've set the target of breaking Ringwood Wilhelmina's record of the most goals in the top flight of Victorian football from the 80s. Can they do it in 7 games? We're keeping an eye on that over the next couple of months. But all one of these sides need right now is just one of those to take the lead and put themselves with the advantage needed. Sumayoro stays inside the Knights attacking half. White.
It's been a very calculated Melbourne Knights tonight, hasn't it? Which is quite the opposite of Northcote. A bit of chaos versus control you've seen so far.
Absolutely, but you just think Knights might need to up the tempo a little bit as Maguire, poor touch, well, didn't even touch it at all in the end, and it rolls all the way through to Phelps. To the chagrin of the Northcote fans. A lot of groans from the fans behind us inside the grandstand here at John Cain Memorial Reserve. Zelko Kuzman yet to turn to his bench just yet.
Good ball.
It's a lovely ball over the top. Uchida. And it's put out for a throw-in by Phelps. Actually, it does look like as well, I've been mistaken, Athos. Looks like Northcote have actually made their first change. It is Josh Knight, and here he is on the ball. That's coming on. Of course, we didn't get the substitutes board shown at half-time, so we're all catching up here, but Josh Knight onto the field. I think it is for Ioannis Georgopoulos, who has made way. So a bit more of an attacking approach here from Northcote. But it looks like Josh Knight playing in midfield. So we've seen him play in a variety of different roles, other than his comfortable role usually at the pointy end of attack. He's played as a wing-back this season as well. Lovely play down the right-hand side. And will it be enough to win a corner? It is.
Well, with 5 goals this season in his last 17 matches, you can't just have him sitting on the bench, can you? Especially in a game like this, which is crying out for a goal. Or 2 or 3.
Potentially.
There were 5 the last time these two sides met, back in 2018. Nearly a year to the day. Well, 4 years.
5 years, mate. 5 years. You almost got there on the first attempt, but there's a bit of a slip there. I think that slip almost summed up your mathematics skills just there for a sec, mate.
Poor patch from everyone involved just there. I think we'd all like to have our time again. The show must go on.
Anyways, it's a goal kick here for Melbourne Knights after that one. Sumayoro under some pressure. Jones wins it back. Maguire looking to flick it on. Oh, calls there for a high boot. Uchida tried to milk it a little bit, but didn't go his way. Ball is cleared away. Sumayoro and Lever collide. And the ball does go out in the end for a throw in there to Melbourne Knights.
The tempo has lifted. It was a bit bruise-free to start this game, but the intensity is rife to begin this second half.
I think
nothing crude yet,
no,
but quite a few firm challenges.
It's a very fair game so far, I think, Athos. Probably the best way to sum it up. It's just strong challenges, nothing too malicious. Just two teams looking to book their spot in the final 4 of the Dockerty Cup. Big 24 hours for these sides. Tomorrow night, of course, they'll find out their Australia Cup round of 32 fates. 2 of the 30 sides nationwide that have already qualified for the national stages. Of course, 2 more teams will join them in the Australia Cup playoffs, contested between Perth Glory and Macarthur and Newcastle Jets and Melbourne Victory in Darwin in a few weeks' time. Both sides familiar with the national stages. Melbourne Knights last there in 2019 when they hosted Adelaide United at Knight Stadium, and Northcote hosting Devonport Strikers from Tasmania at the Venator Club back in 2018. Jones feeding it in tonight, looking to feed it towards Ugandi. And the ball does roll out in the end there for a goal kick.
It's hard to believe this Northcote team is 10th in NPL2. It just goes to show how tough NPL2 is in Victoria. Probably one of the toughest leagues in Australia to get out of it.
You know what? I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to say probably it's the toughest in Australia right now in terms of competitiveness. It's about, I think, about 13 points from first through to last. Really, anyone can beat anyone. The promotion and relegation race is just, it's on right now. Really, anyone could go up, anyone could go down. That's how tight it is right now. When you compare that with the gap between first and last in NPL Victoria, between South Melbourne and Avondale, who are tied at the top, and Bentley Greens, who are last, I believe it's about 39 points. I have to actually check that and get the numbers correct. But it is a sizable gap. College, flicking it over the top. Here's Sokol. Been in the thick of it early. Strong challenge. College comes up with it, looking to feed it through towards Cananda, but well played there by Lever. Stepping out and winning that ball before it found its way through. Oh, good play there from Uchida. Just let it run down that right-hand side. He's got players in the middle. Plays it short. Sokol's there. Flicking it in towards Uchida. Comes back to Sokol. just wide in the end. And that would have been an incredible goal for Steve Sokol. He's just playing on another level at the moment against his former side. He's already had the ball in the net once and almost had it for a second time there. And that time, that would have counted.
Well, it was Sokol and Uchida who have probably been the most exciting players today, combining for what would have been an exquisite goal. One worthy of opening up the scoring today.
Oh, strong challenge there from Morton.
Jeez, let that go, this referee.
Yeah, he's let a lot go right now. He's letting the game run, and it's coming back for a free kick to Melbourne Knights. Couldn't have said it better myself, Athos, about that Steve Sokol chance. Would have been certainly one that features on the highlight reels at the end of the season in the best ofs. Sensational bit of play. Ball flicked on there. Sanchez. Defended by Salakidis. Plays it short. Ball looped into the area. Looking for Cananda. Gets past them all. And Sumayoro gives Melbourne Knights the lead. In the right place at the right time to bury it past Kumanau. And Melbourne Knights find the all-important opener.
It gets the run of play, you'd say. Great goal from the Melbourne Knights. It's what this game needed, I think. You'd expect it to go to another level now, but the Knights draw first blood here in Northcote.
It's a lovely ball into the area. Mohamed Sumayoro ghosting in at the back post and able to bundle the ball past Brandon Kumanau. And Northcote's period of a bit of dominance comes to an end as the Knights hit them back the other way, and they are going to make a substitution. Javara Nepomuceno off. And just getting confirmation of who is coming on here for Melbourne Knights, but with another key player coming off, maybe again a look ahead now with the lead to next week, or this Friday, sorry, against Avondale, and it is Gian Albano coming on. So you take off one key attacking weapon for Melbourne Knights, they're bringing on someone who is just as potent in Albano. And that ball just eludes Yo Gandhi and it goes out for a throw-in.
Well, we'll see what Northcote's made of now, what they've got in the tank. They're a goal behind. Nothing to lose here. They're playing against a classy outfit. Let's see if they can muster up a goal or two. And it's also a good test for the Knights to see whether they can keep a clean sheet. They haven't kept too many in the last few weeks.
Their last coming against Bentley Greens in that 1-0 win at Kingston Heath, which Sumayoro did score the winner in as well. So potentially a good omen here for Melbourne Knights. Of course, though, Northcote won't die wondering. Still plenty of time to turn this game on its head. Of course, we will play extra time and penalties should this game end as a draw. A reminder, the winner plays Oakley Cannons in the semi-final. The other semi-final contested between Goulburn Valley Suns and Heidelberg United. Uchida. Ball's put out there for a corner, so a chance here for Northcote. What can they muster up here from this set piece? Going forward, they've been very promising, but just haven't. I mean, they had that chance for Steve Sokol just before Sumayoro's opener as the ball is looped into the area to a dangerous spot. And Ben Collins was there, calm as ever, to just get his body in the way. And Northcote have looked very dangerous from set pieces. Every time it's gone in, you felt like someone's going to get on the end of it.
And the Knights would be a tough defence to score from a set piece off, considering the tall timber they have. They've even brought on Ben Collins to help their cause there, who has looked pretty good since coming on. Absolutely.
Spent just over 2 and a bit seasons in Western United's system, playing primarily in their academy side in NPL 3 and NPL 2, but did feature a couple of times for their A-League men's side. Quite a few bench appearances, of course, as well in the grand final in 2022, a successful grand final win against Melbourne City. I mean, when you're learning from the likes of Leo Lacroix, Tomoki Imai, Nikolai Topo-Stanley, it's a very impressive list of players to do an extended internship under. Sanchez looking to feed through Luka Kolic. Does well, Kolic, to keep it alive. Kolic, one of a couple of players alongside Anthony Pantazopoulos, who was part of a national team talent identification camp last year, two of the NPL Victoria representatives. Two of the brightest young talents here in the state. And it does look like Northcote are getting ready to make a substitution. It will be their second of the game. And there's going to be Zach Bates, who comes on here, and it's going to be the end of the game for Yul Gandhi. He's shown a bit in moments, Yul Gandhi, but just hasn't been able to really test that Knights defence enough, and his evening comes to an end. And Zach Bates, a former South Melbourne and Melbourne City Academy player, coming on in his place. Salakidis up the line, headed on by Maguire. Getting back is Sumayoro. Ball fed through to Albano. Sumayoro, the goal scorer, under immediate pressure from two players, does well to ride the challenges. Mohamed Sumayoro turns it over. Here's Bates, first touch since coming on. Sokol looking to play it back to Zach Bates. Out to Uchida. Calls for a handball. Not given.
Would have been stiff.
Yep. And here you go, the Knights looking to break back the other way through Albano. Cananda just calling for it, but it comes to him eventually. Albano, Cananda making the run. He feeds it back to him. Anton Cananda, can he finish? He can. Lars Anton Cananda opens up his account for Melbourne Knights. It's 2-0 to the visitors. Welcome to Summer Street. Lars Anton Cananda. And Melbourne Knights have 1 foot inside the Dockerty Cup semi-finals.
He's a cult hero waiting to be born, is the AK-47. Cool, calm, collected finish to take it around the keeper. He knew exactly what he was doing there. He even demanded the 1-2, got it back.
Well, the amazing thing was he stood. He didn't make any other run. He stood. He said, "John, give me the ball. Let's play this 1-2. I'm going to take off afterwards." And it looked like the play was sort of breaking down, but then he just continued his run after Albano got it back, and in the end did brilliant to round the goalkeeper and put it into the back of the net.
He was playing chess while everyone was playing checkers. The whole stadium stopped, except for him. And now all of a sudden Melbourne Knights are 2-0 up in this Dockerty Cup quarter-final.
Well, right now, a meeting against Oakley Cannons looms likely for Melbourne Knights. And how important this would be just to get some momentum back in the league as well, as they do head into those last 7 games of the season. Their next 4 against Avondale, North Geelong on the road, Moreland City and Green Gully. So 2 top 6 sides, sandwiching games against 2 of the bottom 3. An opportunity for Knights to get points and get 1 step closer to locking in a finals berth. But Northcote, can they find a way back into this game? Joshua Knight pushing the pace. Sokol. Back to Knight. Sokol cuts inside, has some space on the edge of the area. He fires, it finds a way through to Uchida. Just over the bar. And Yuki Uchida just wasn't able to get his body over it. It was always rising and it went out for a goal kick. Good response though there from Northcote.
They've been quite the formidable dynamic duo, those two. You feel like if Northcote is going to get one back, it'll be through one of them. Well, they have looked the most promising in that Northcote attack. They still do have Nick Sete on the bench as well, who can inject a lot of speed. Again, was on the books of Melbourne Victory finished up his time around 2018, was a scholarship player for them and has spent some time throughout NPL. And here he is going to be brought on, and it will be the end of the game for James Maguire. So opting here for Sete. Came across from Bulleen Lions in the off-season. A really good season last year under Fausto Diamisis. Finished second in their goal scoring behind Max Batchelor, who recently departed Bulleen to join Eastern Lions. But Nick Sete on. He knows where the goals are. He's got plenty of skill, plenty of pace. Can he give Northcote that little bit of inspiration they need to find a way back into this contest? Sokol flicks it on. Athanasiou. He hits it from range, but it was wide in the end. Nearly a great captain's goal there. He didn't miss by much. It's a good hit. Great hit. Leo Athanasiou just taking it upon himself from deep to try and make something happen. It's a very attacking outlook here from Northcote with Joshua Knight playing deeper. Steve Sokol now tucking into play as a 10, and you've got Uchida, Bates and Sete as that front 3. That press looks very ominous
Yeah.
at that goal kick just then. I would have hated to have lost the ball there. You could see why the Knights have opted to go long rather than playing out from the back like they were in the first half.
Well, it seems like Northcote have taken the approach of risking to lose this game by more to potentially turn this game around and maybe get it at least to extra time. Because at the end of the day, it's not like goal difference really matters in this game, Athos. If you lose 4-0, it's still a loss, as it would be if you lose 1-0 as well. So, see if they can turn things around and get the ball rolling. Knights, though, goals from Mohamed Sumayoro and Lars Anton Kananda opening up his account for Melbourne Knights. Strong challenge there and a yellow card awarded to Felipe Sanchez. Knights still have Bailey Ratcliffe on the bench, as well as the backup goalkeeper Emmanuel Prifty. Well, Jacob Wiseman on the bench as well for Melbourne Knights. Have basically emptied the clip, the visitors, with all those substitutions with Albano and Collins, Phelps, White. Be a nervous watch to see the fitness of Trevor Semikula. And we don't know about Anthony Giselle, but hopefully he's all good as well. But seeing their status for the game against Avondale, you have to wonder if potentially those moves were a bit precautionary given the stakes on the line against Avondale on Friday night at home. And I'll tell you what, that is shaping up as easily the game, well, one of the games of the round in NPL Victoria. Actually treated to a really exciting weekend, Athos. The top four in NPL Victoria all playing each other. We have South Melbourne against Oakley as well on Sunday. Not at Lakeside Stadium. In fact, at McIver Reserve in Yarraville. Due to due to the ground being unavailable due to the FIFA Women's World Cup. That, and of course, Olympic Village, another ground that will be unavailable in the near future. One of Northcote's rivals, Werribee City, as well, losing access to Galvin Park.
They're hosting Morocco down there.
Yes, they are, down in Werribee.
But back to this game, Nick. We spoke earlier about the Knights' ability to score goals quickly. They did it against Yarraville a few weeks ago, and they did it here today. 2 goals in about 5 or 10 minutes has turned this tie on its head. And all of a sudden, where they were looking a bit shaky, the Knights are back in control.
Northcote looking to push the pace back the other way through Knight. Feeds it to Sokol. Plays it in first time. It's a good ball. Bates is waiting for it, but key intervention there. Doesn't allow the Northcote substitute to get in behind. Sumayoro, he just puts the jets on. Says to Athanasiou, come get me. He skips past Jones. Hoping for some support. Albano offering short. Does play it to him. It was a great run from Sumayoro, but in the end, Knights just happy to work it around the back. 2 goals to the good. Sets it. Does well to win that 50-50. Jones keeps it alive. Knight. Joshua Knight had a bit of a moniker for a while in NPL Victoria too. As we leave that for just a sec as Kumanau sends it long, but he's known as someone that he always helped teams get promoted in NPL too. He was almost signed as the guy to get you up. But in the end, sometimes he wouldn't actually stick around. He'd actually just head back to NPL 2 and help another side get promoted. He was so close last year with Brunswick Juventus. Of course, they fell just short behind Moreland City and North Geelong Warriors. And he's here at Northcote, and promotion seems very unlikely right now for Northcote. But maybe some magic in the Australia Cup. Maybe some late magic in this game. Knight switching it towards the right-hand side. And just a bit calm there from Morton. Stays in the Northcote attacking half. Sokol brought to ground by White, and it's a free kick on the edge of the area. So in a very dangerous position for Northcote, and a yellow card
as well. Bit surprised by that, I think.
Steve White goes into the book, the former Mariners Academy player. And an opportunity here for Melbourne, for Northcote. And again, Athos, we've been reliably informed at half-time that Sam Ward can hit these free kicks now. We saw in the first half he had an opportunity which he slammed into the wall, but again, looks like he's taken ownership of this one. And if they can score from this, it's going to set up one hell of a finish here.
Well, this cleared the area around the ball. There's no questions as to who's taking this. Just a question of where it will land.
So Sam Ward standing over this one. Scored twice against Lang Warren. Scored against Kingston as well. 5 goals in the league this season.
The cameras are out. They're backing this one.
Ward. And off the wall and out for a corner. Hasn't had the magic just yet to beat the wall. Hasn't beaten it on either of the occasions, but there'll be a second chance here for Northcote. Cheetah looking to get things moving quickly with this corner. Whips it into a dangerous area. The ball goes straight up into the air. It's helped on its way by Sanchez to clear. Athanasiou with the switching ball. But again, it's clear, but it will stay in the Northcote attacking half. Jones. Sete. Stops, props, waits, plays it short, looking to get it on the 1-2, but it comes back to Jones. Knight. Space to whip it in. Plays it very low, and it's cleared away by the Knights' defence. Salakidis with a bit of a nervous moment there, but he does well to make up for it. And that ball is out of bounds and out for a throw-in.
It seems like a while ago now that Northcote had the ball in the back of the net, albeit controversially ruled out.
Absolutely. And it does look like we're going to see a substitution here from Melbourne Knights.
Both sides, it looks like.
So firstly, it will be for Northcote. So it's going to be Bailey Ratcliffe on here for Leo Athanasiou. His day coming to an end. In fact, actually, no, it was just a Northcote substitution. Got Jack Morton mixed up. It looked like he was standing next to him. We were just taking the throw-in. So only a substitution in the end there for Northcote. Do apologise for that one. But Bailey Ratcliffe on here for Athanasiou. Sanchez does well. Still going, Sanchez looking to feed it short for Albano. It's kept alive, Albano. Feeds it short, College. White under pressure. Turned over, Uchida looking to kickstart the attack here for Northcote. Playing it short to Sokol. Back to Uchida. And again, he's forced to retreat. Just didn't have the options. They may have to play this one straight into the area. Sete. Still going, Nick Sete. Looking to almost just force his way through the Melbourne Knights defence by sheer will.
Was that a laser pointer?
It does look like that was a laser pointer on the opposite side there. Salakidis driving forward from the back, looking to feed it through. Just eluded him on that occasion. And the ball is cleared away. And it's coming back, I think, for a free kick. Down went Felipe Sanchez. So the score here 2-0. In case you missed it, goals to Mohamed Sumayoro and Lars Anton Kananda. It's the difference between the two sides. Melbourne Knights on their way to the Dockerty Cup semi-finals. A clash against the reigning NPL Victoria champions, the team everyone's got a target firmly on the back of in Oakley Cannons. A team that will certainly fancy themselves in the Australia Cup, given what they did last year, getting through to the semi-finals. Falling short to the eventual champions, MacArthur FC.
Good ball.
Lovely ball fed through, looking for a cheater, but Collins gets across and marshals it through to Oldfield. Ratcliffe looking to feed that one through in the end.
A very mature response and very professional from the Knights after scoring those 2 goals. They haven't flooded the defence. In fact, I think they've gone better with every goal they've scored.
Absolutely. It seems like their confidence has just risen, and right now they're looking to break again, and Sumayoro is in an acre of space, but instead he goes with the safe option. Now finds Sumayoro. It's been brilliant all evening. So he can go right at his man. He has Albano in support. Well defended by Zach Bates. Getting back. Good speed there shown by the Northcote substitute. Here's Knight. Jones just yelling for it on this near side, but the defensive setup from Knights has been really solid, forcing these sort of passes. And when they've come off for Northcote, it's been dangerous, but Uchida was offside. The assistant referee's flag was up. So Northcote City, their next 4 games, only 1 game at home in their next 4. Eastern Lions away on the weekend, and a big clash against Brunswick City, a bit of a local rivalry. Pascoe Vale and Preston up next after that. As the ball's flicked through, Sanchez was waiting for it, but coming off his line was Kumanau.
Great bit of goalkeeping. Could have easily have given away a penalty there.
Just apologise. They've actually got one of their next 3 games at home. They do play Preston in that 4th game at home at this very venue. Uchida in some space on this right-hand side. He whips in. It's a good ball looking for Sete. Bates got a touch to it. Player still down in Sokol, and Knights are looking to break back the other way. Sanchez, strong touch inside. He's still going, Felipe Sanchez. He's got Cananda alongside him.
The AK's on.
Cananda's in behind. The flag's up. He was denied by Kumanau anyway. Bodies everywhere at the moment. Felipe Sanchez after that run.
He could have easily have gone down about twice there.
Yeah.
But he kept going.
You love to see it.
2-0 up as well. They smell blood, the Knights.
They do. They want more. They want to really make sure of this result. Felipe Sanchez making the most of his opportunity in the starting 11 today. And you do wonder, Ben Cain, he's putting his team sheet together on Friday night, knowing that he's got these players pushing for selection when he does have the likes of Franjic and Sewell and Hoare and Bramwell all at his disposal again. And of course, with Albano potentially back in the starting 11, Ben Collins, it's a very good problem to have going into that game against Avondale. And they're going to need to be at their absolute best to beat Avondale. So minor stoppage here as Felipe Sanchez requires a little bit of treatment after that challenge.
I think he deserves a breather after that run.
I agree. So the focus for both these two sides after today, before they begin their Australia Cup journey in the national stages, will of course turn back to the league. Different sets of goals for both teams. Northcote to survive in NPL2. For Melbourne Knights, secure a spot in the finals and chase some extra silverware as the ball's looped into the area, and Cheetah was waiting for it. It's kept in their half. Well played by Josh Knight. Finds its way through to Sokol. He gets the shot away, but it's blocked. And Oldfield keeps it alive just. He calls for a corner, but the veteran goalkeeper did well to keep it in. But better there from Northcote.
Well, they're taking the game on. They have all game, but they're definitely getting a lot more desperate now, which is great to see. You want to see these teams taking the game on and being brave, risking losing 4 or 5-0.
They're not going to die wondering, that's one thing for sure. The Knights, though, they want to put the final dagger in the coffin, but that pass was intercepted by Jones, looking to feed through a cheater. We'll find him. It's a good pass. Getting back is Karlovic. Jones plays it centrally. Bates. Cheetah cuts inside, loops it in, and it's well telegraphed by Ben Collins. Morton helps it on its way. It's going to stay in Northcote's attacking half, though. Sete. Knight. Back to Sete. Cuts inside. Does well, Nick Sete. Looking to feed it through for Sokol. Just didn't have enough on it. That's playing. Living very dangerously here. Looking to play out from the back. And Karlovic comes up with it. Sumayoro. Looking to go down this right-hand side. Good challenge there from Ratcliffe. And it's out for a throw. Bit of words there with the ref and James Phelps there, Athos. Uchida. And he's turned it over in the worst possible position. Sanchez just a shoot on sight policy there, and
perhaps a tired shot, that one.
Certainly put in a shift, and I don't think the Knights really have any other subs left, so he's got to keep it going. Lars Anton Conander still going, looking to feed it through. Just rolls off the tongue. And Jones keeps it alive, or does he? No, he doesn't. It's out for a corner. Conander, Sumayoro just exchanging some words. Sumayoro saying, you should have just laid it off, mate. I was into space.
There. He was on his own. And I think he deserves a goal after the shift he's put in today. But nonetheless, the Knights still lead 2-0. With just over a quarter of an hour left to play. On a beautiful night here in Northcote. And the crowd has really come out, despite it being a Tuesday night. You might not be able to see it on the broadcast, but I'm sure you can hear it. Plenty of Knights fans and plenty of locals have made the trip out.
Well, just over 10 minutes remaining in this game, plus stoppages as the ball's looped into the area. Conander was waiting for it. It falls to Sumayoro. Plays it off to Ben Collins. He goes himself, Collins. He hits it. And Ben Collins seals the deal. A debut goal for the centre-back against his former side. And Melbourne Knights are through to the semi-finals of the Dockerty Cup. That was a beautiful finish from the centre-back.
Extremely well taken. You'd think he'd be doing it for years. The way he brought that down onto his left, bottom corner, beat the keeper at the near post, and then it didn't go to his head. Against his former side, he showed that respect. He didn't run off celebrating like most of us would have had we scored our first goal. But that is the dagger in the heart, isn't it? On a great night of football here in Northcote. The Knights will be playing Oakley in the next round of the Dockerty Cup as they edge closer, Nick, to breaking the silverware drought.
Well, a massive moment for Melbourne Knights after what's been some tough years in the league. But right now, they're on the brink of at least returning to the semis, where the job doesn't get much hard, doesn't get any harder than really playing Oakley at the moment. Oakley, Avondale and South Melbourne, three of the standard bearers in NPL Victoria. Obviously, Avondale and South Melbourne bundled out of the Australia Cup, or the preliminary rounds of the Australia Cup, so they both won't feature on the national stage, as Avondale and South Melbourne have featured quite regularly recently. And of course, South Melbourne made all the way through to the semis a few years back, as we've got a rogue ball on the pitch, a bit of multi-ball there. And not too sure what was going on there, Athos, but we just had I don't know if you saw it, but there was a second ball that just sort of scooted through the middle of the park. So that game against Oakley to take place in a couple of weeks' time. Of course, on the 11th of July, Goulburn Valley hosting Heidelberg up in Shepparton, the other Dockerty Cup semi-final. Could still see a side outside the top tier of Victorian football in the final if Goulburn Valley can beat the Warriors. Corner here for Northcote. Can they at least get a consolation? They do deserve at least a goal. They have been brave tonight. They did have the ball in the back of the net, albeit it didn't count.
It could have been a very different game had that been allowed, but we'll never know. Very, very close to an own goal, but the Knights keep their clean sheet.
A nervous moment at the back there for the Knights' defence. Another corner here for Northcote. I mean, it's ticking down. Ball is looped into the near post. Knight gets ahead to it. Sort of pinballs around, and it's Sumayoro who clears. Salakidis knocks it forward. Sete whips it in. Out comes Oldfield. Nice patch here from Northcote. And I'm looking on that far side there, Athos, and it looks like Melbourne Knights are going to actually have a keeper swap to round out this game. So they're really unloading the bench at the moment. Ben Cain maybe doesn't want to risk any injuries, just going, you know what, if we can get Chris Oldfield off, we may as well. And this will be the end of the game for Chris Oldfield. And it will be Jacob Wiseman who is coming on for him for the final few minutes of this game.
Well, it's probably cold over there, sitting on the bench, so a good chance to warm up.
Do you reckon he just said to Ben, he just was like, mate, I'm freezing out here. I just need to move around a little bit. Can you just get me on for the final few minutes?
Something to that effect.
Solid performance from Chris Oldfield today. One of the top custodians here in NPL Victoria. By the looks of it, Melbourne Knights taking off Steve White as well, but no replacement.
He's just walked over to the bench. And
so it looks like we've got... So Melbourne Knights going to play the rest of this game with 10.
That's the amount of confidence Ben Cain has in this team.
He's really gone, you know, we've got to look ahead to Friday night.
They are playing with 10 men.
Yes, they are. Jones whips it into the area. Out comes Wiseman. Gets 2 fists on it. If you're Northcote, you'd have to think, well, let's try and take the right to them. Why not?
So is he allowed to come back on whenever he wants?
I don't know. If he's... Yeah, so he's just taken himself off.
Gone for a breather on the pine.
It's almost junior footy sort of stuff at the moment.
I wonder if the referee knows.
No, he would know. So Bates, looking to get forward up this left side. A peculiar finish here in Northcote as Knights up 3-0, but voluntarily choosing to end this game with 10 players. Jones plays it short to Bates. Ratcliffe. Ward whips it in. It's not a clear by Collins. Cananda collides with Josh Knight. Ratcliffe out to that right side again. Northcote just played him first time, and Wiseman collects. I mean, a bit of a no-sharing rule, obviously, on NPL Victoria, I thought, but really reeks of a bit of Damien Hardwick tactics from the pre-season game was in 2016.
Well, perhaps they're training just in case they lose a man in the next few games.
Potentially. I mean, it's a 3-day turnaround before they play Avondale, and it's been they've just had 2 full days between games since they played on Saturday night against Altona. So maybe it's just, you know what, like, there's really no point. We're up 3-0. May as well.
I don't think that was premeditated.
No, but is this maybe Ben Cain even using his bit of practice, like playing with 10 players, what we could actually do, worst case scenario, get someone sent off? Who knows? Very keen to find out. Strong challenge there by Salakidis. Ball out for a throw. So Northcote, big game coming up against Eastern Lions up next. The focus will turn back to the league, and survival in NPL 2 is paramount for them. Want to try and just build on that buffer they've got above the likes of Bulleen and Pascoe Vale and Brunswick Juventus, but he's ever closing with 1 point in their last 1 point out of a possible 12 in their last 4 games. Melbourne Knights, conversely, looking to get 1 step closer to securing a first finals berth in quite some time. They're first in the NPL era.
And it's been a good test run today. A real finals-like intensity, particularly in the second half.
Here's Bates. Still going down the left, Zach Bates. He cuts in. Short tonight. Salakidis. Here's Bates. Again, just looking to get the ball in the area. Played there by Uchida. Still going, goes to ground, calls for a penalty. Go unrewarded. It's Collins looking to make his way out of the fence. Also scoring his first Melbourne Knights goal alongside Anton Conander. Oh, good skill there from Felipe Sanchez. A real bright spark here for Melbourne Knights, and a lot of their fans will be quite pleased with what they've seen from the likes of Sanchez, who have made the most of their opportunity in the starting 11. You're hopeful that they can carry it over when they return back to league action.
Well, it's a step in the right direction. A chance at a first Dockerty Cup in nearly 10 years. 2014 was the last time they lifted this trophy. They've won 9 others, of course.
Of course, the Dockerty Cup, arguably still the most prestigious, long-standing trophy in Victorian football. Last year's winners were Bentley Greens, who were eliminated by Melbourne Knights in the lead into this. Here's Jones. Plays it short, Sete feeds it to Uchida. Can he get one back? He can. Northcote do get their consolation. Yuki Uchida scores. 3-1. That
one does count. A few of them did have a glance over to the linesman, but a great finish at the end of a very good night for Northcote. They haven't quite got the chocolates, but I don't think they've lost any admirers tonight. They've been wonderful. They've been brave. They've been unlucky in attack not to score a few more. And I think that capped off a pretty good evening for them.
It might be a little bit too little too late for Northcote as we do enter second half stoppage time. Or maybe not. I mean, Knights are playing with 10. Maybe they have to get Steve White back on. Albano calling for some calm. Northcote won't die wondering, though, if they can pull one more back. Who knows what could happen here? Jones. Oh, it's a poor touch from Lever. And it's set through Lars Anton Conander. Can he finish? Oh, he's put it wide. And that could have just made sure of it again. But he sprays wide the post. And the big Swede unable to add a second. Jacob Lever won't want to be seeing that one again after that turnover. Well, Northcote, though, I don't know how much stoppage time has been added on, but they might get at least one more chance. Jones to Bates. Bates gets to the byline, Zach Bates. Back across the face, and Phelps looking to clear. Not out of danger entirely. Albano does come up with it in the end. And Conander was making the run, but it's turned over. Here's Ward.
Good ball.
Floats it over the top, looking for Sete. Uchida, the goal scorer for Northcote. Jones plays it short to Bates. Here's Knight. Looking to sizzle it along the ground to Salakidis, who plays it first time. We'll come back to him, though. Salakidis looking to get down the byline, and he wins a corner. So, maybe.
There's a bit of life in Northcote yet.
Well, they're not giving up. All 10 players back in the box. Everyone else but the keeper in the box for Northcote. Ball is whipped in. Bounces in the area, and it's still not cleared. Kumanau will get there and send it straight back in. Lays it short. And that's that. Ward's effort was actually on target in the end. But that's that. Melbourne Knights are through to the Dockerty Cup semi-finals. A 3-1 win here at John Cain Memorial Reserve. Goals from Mohamed Sumayoro, Lars Anton Conander, and Ben Collins got him up 3-0. A late goal from Yuki Uchida pulled one back for Northcote, but it was too little too late for the home side, who bow out. But their focus can now turn back to the league, and of course, for both sides, the national stages of the Australia Cup.
Yes, both sides will be keeping a keen eye to the tally tomorrow night as they find out who they play in the Australia Cup. Nick, it's been great riding shotgun with you tonight. I hope everyone at home has enjoyed the match as much as we have. If you're Northcote, I think you leave with your head held high tonight. They were excellent despite not getting the result. They showed some great signs. But for the Knights, it was a professional performance, particularly after scoring that goal at the beginning of the second half. They just got better from there.
Well, in the end, it's a 3-1 win for Melbourne Knights. Their focus turns to Friday night back at home against Avondale, Well, Northcote on the road against Eastern Lions in NPL 2 this weekend. But thank you again for your company at home on the Football Victoria Facebook and YouTube pages. I've been Nick Tabano, joined by Athos Sirianos here in Melbourne's North. The final score here, Northcote City 1, Melbourne Knights 3.